After episode 83, you begin to understand why our universe might not be that great. Hey guys, MasakoX here. Now I would have made this video an episode 83 Fallout video, but I feel there's a particular part of that episode that deserves a more in-depth discussion. We will take into account not only the things that have occurred during the universe survival arc, but everything that we know about Universe 7 as a whole right up until this point, including Z. Now I must preface this discussion by saying that I am not coming down hard on Dragon Ball Super itself. I am mainly focusing my ire on the double act that is the Supreme Kai and Beerus because, let's just face it, at this point they're really not doing their job. So today, it's all about Dragon Ball's latest power couple. For those of you who are unfamiliar what I mean by power couple, I am talking about the connection that the Supreme Kai and Beerus share. This is the case with every single Supreme Kai and God of Destruction in the 12 remaining universes. Should one of these heavenly beings die unnaturally, say if they were murdered by another god or they were to die in a supernatural event, then their connected deity also dies. This was brought to light in Dragon Ball Super during the Future Trunks arc, and honestly, I really like this narrative plot device. It adds a lot of excitement to the story. There's peril with the Supreme Kai, and Beerus too. He's not infallible. It means that we have to make sure that both of these guys survive or else we'll have to face the consequences. We saw what happened in Trunks' timeline. As a result of Zamasu and Goku Black going on a massive killing spree, all the Supreme Kais in those 12 universes of Trunks' timeline died, as did their gods of destruction that they shared a connection with, as well as their angelic attendants. The celestial population as well as the mortal one was completely decimated. Zeno and most likely his bodyguards were the only beings effectively alive in that timeline. Maybe the Grand Priest was alive too, but there's no evidence to prove that. It has come to light that this connection that these two share is not simply a cheeky plot device. It's meant to denote that these two share a responsibility. Both the Supreme Kai and God of Destruction have to work together to ensure that the universe that they are in charge of runs at its maximum potential. All of this work goes towards their mortal level, which is something that Zeno devised, to assess how the 12 universes are doing and how well the Supreme Kais and God of Destructions of each universe are coping with their charges. These factors include the amount of civilized worlds, their prosperity, their efficiency, and maybe to a small extent strength. A very small extent. It's not exclusively based around power, which is what I thought when I first heard about mortal levels. It was a knee-jerk reaction of mine, and for that I have to apologize. Also, I know that the gods and the Kais weren't aware of this mortal level before the tournament, but surely it's common sense for a God of Destruction and the Supreme Kai to make sure that their universe is running at the best possible condition. The two Omni Kings created this rating system so as to denote which universes are worthy of surviving and which ones should be destroyed. The lowest 8 universes would be It can be said that Goku, having desired this tournament in the first place, has actually saved a universe from destruction, so it's only 7 now, so that's a little bit less destruction, so good on you, Goku. So where does Universe 7 rank in this list of mortal levels? Well, second to last. Only Universe 9 was worse. Ooh. Basically, the exhibition match was a yardstick. If the two universes with the lowest mortal levels could wow Zeno that much, just think of the other universes. They would put on a spectacular show. So that immediately begs the question, how on earth did our universe score that low? The fact that our universe is second to last is a shock on its own, but when you actually take a step back and look at the events that have led up to the universe survival arc and post the exhibition match, you begin to understand why our universe is so rubbish. And also the writing for this plot device is kind of rubbish too. Put simply, the buck stops at Beerus and the Supreme Kai. These two deities are lousy at their jobs. To be fair, 5 million years ago or so, the Supreme Kai did have to assume the role of 5 Supreme Kais due to the fact that Majin Buu and Bibidi ran amok in the sacred world of the Kais. But you would think in the eons between then and now that Shin would have a really good handle on his job. He's got this. Either that, or he's been able to delegate it to other sacred beings, but apparently not. Or he could have possibly fathered new Kais in the meantime, you know, from different quadrants of the galaxies of Universe 7? Surely there'd be someone out there, especially when you consider that Kais and Supreme Kais are born from fruit. Perhaps the kaiju tree that fathers all Shinjin sacred beings and Supreme Kais is just having a bit of an off couple of millennia and eons, I don't know. The role of a Supreme Kai is to observe and protect their universe. It's not their business to get too involved in the affairs of the mortal realm, but if there was grave danger to be had, then it's their job and duty to step in, and to get the God of Destruction to help them along with it. Gowasu from Universe 10 is a far better example of what a Supreme Kai should be. Just make sure that you don't hire a psychopath to be your apprentice, okay? Shin though, he ain't so hot. He is a guy who takes a very hands-off approach to his universe. So hands-off, in fact, that he wasn't even aware of the existence of Zeno, the Omni King, until the Elder Kai had to remind him about who Zeno was. Granted, yes, I know, it's a kid's show, so there are plot holes and retcons that happen all the time. But say that there wasn't. If the Supreme Kai is not aware of his boss, then he's not doing something right. If you look at Daizenshu 7, you begin to understand what exactly the role of the Supreme Kai is supposed to be, something that Shin isn't doing. The sacred world of the Kais, the world where the Kaioshin, the highest ranking beings among the Kaio, live. They watch over the entire world and take balance. Balance. Right. So what if I were to say that in Universe 7, according to Shin, the Supreme Kai of Universe 7, there are a total of 28 planets that sustain mortal life that have risen to the point of harboring a civilization. 28. Let that sink in. Okay, I'm calling that a load of bull. The only way that could even be possible is that if there were a remarkable and terrifying cataclysm. I don't think so, because if you look back to Daizenshu 7, it kind of contradicts the amount of planets that there are existence that have civilizations. Countless planets exist in the universe, as well as the heavenly realm and the devil realm. Numerous countries and worlds have appeared in Dragon Ball. In the Dragon Ball world, a great variety of races exist. Yardratians, Metamorians, the Triopses said to be Tenshinhan's ancestors, Nikochanians, Okakumen, Sufurians, Brentians, Beparians, Zaltans, Makioans, Litlians, Shurtans, Tubbans, Canassians, Metians, Kunians, Altarians, Aryans, Kunutans, Shimotians, Bensians, Ikondans, the Hela clan, etc. An extremely large amount of cosmic races who differ in shape appear. And that's not including Earthlings, Namekians, and Saiyans. So either Shin has really not been paying attention, or the writers have really not done their research in the principles of astrophysics. Even GT disputes this. How can you have a grand tour with such a small number of civilized planets? Dragon Ball's own reading material is contradictory enough, but when you bring in actual maths and physics into the equation, things get a whole lot muddier. There is an equation in astrophysics known as the Drake equation, which is used to determine the likelihood of civilized races that are capable of communicating with other races across universes and galaxies. It was devised by the astronomer Frank Drake over 50 years ago, and thanks to a handy BBC-driven calculator that actually simplifies the equation into something that we can use and try for yourself, I'll include a link in the description, we start to get an understanding about why 28 planets just does not make sense. If we take the worst case scenario generated by this calculator into account, the total number of civilizations that are capable of interstellar communication is 15,000. 15,000! And that's the lowest estimate. What about the highest estimate? Oh, just a trifling 10.9 billion civilizations. 72,800 of those in the Milky Way alone. This equation takes into account the number of habitable planets in the star system, the number of stars born every year, the chances of intelligent life on those habitable planets, the chances that that intelligent life can generate technology and therefore travel through interstellar space. A lot of things are taken into account here. So yeah, just 28? I really doubt that. Okay, let's just say for a moment that there are only 28 planets that have civilized life in Universe 7. Let's just take that number on the chin and just roll with it. Well, this is where Beerus comes in, before taking a nap. Beerus is a terrible god of destruction, and Whis, his attendant, knows it. The role of the god of destruction is to maintain a balance between creation and destruction. He's supposed to be working with the Supreme Kai, and he's not doing that. It's bad enough that we get a Supreme Kai that doesn't like to engage with his job. We then get a god of destruction that overdoes his job. He's trigger happy. He takes his job to the extreme, destroying planets for the slightest transgression, and most of those transgressions involve food. When he's not blowing up planets, he's sleeping, for millennia at a time. countless habitats throughout the entire universe would have been destroyed by Beerus unnecessarily just because they couldn't appease his appetite. And then the planets that should have been destroyed by Beerus so as to achieve balance in the universe were left unchecked while he was sleeping. Well, what do you expect? There's no Supreme Kai to keep him in check or work with him. If you looked at the other Supreme Kai and God of Destruction at the exhibition match, then you will notice that they are far more in sync, especially Universe 11. Kai and Vermood work together in harmony. That's how it should be. Universe 7, Beerus and the Supreme Kai, Shin, they're just bickering. Then we have Frieza, the planet shark. But a tyrannical emperor can only do so much. As far as we know, there are upwards of about 80 to 90 planets in Frieza's control up until the Namek saga. That's hardly thousands, it's several dozen, yes, but nothing that would completely obliterate life throughout an entire star system. You could shift the blame to this tyrannical lord, but Beerus, if he was doing his job right, would have ensured that Frieza would have been stopped dead in his tracks. Beerus is supposed to be the one destroying planets, not Frieza. But no, Beerus is asleep and just completely unaware of Frieza's antics. And in fact, at one point, he even befriends Frieza, and they both destroy together, or he just doesn't give a toss about Frieza destroying planets. God! So with that said, I am really not surprised that our universe is second to bottom in this reality. We got a double act at the top who are completely incompetent. I mean, Shin is a nice guy and all, but he just doesn't take responsibility and take charge at all of creation and maintenance. Unless it's Majin Buu, of course, which in that case, he just has to step in and take charge. And Beerus, he's just reckless and feckless, and other words that end in eckless. He makes for a funny character, but as a god of destruction, he is completely awful. If you look at him as an employee and you're the boss, he should have been disposed of a long time ago. The only probable reason that we scored higher than Universe 9 was because that Ro, the Supreme Kai of Universe 9, is a total jerk, and because of the prosperity of Earth. Earth has strong protectors, impressive tech, a functional government, and is just generally really efficient. It has contributed to the maintenance of other planets in Universe 7 far more than the Supreme Kai has. So does Universe 7 deserve to be destroyed? Well, yeah. It's been led by gods who have not been doing their job, and it's time for them to either step up or step down. Unless Goku and company can pull a miracle and win the tournament and thusly save Universe 7 from certain doom, then I really don't see much hope for Universe 7. So what do you guys think? Do you think my opinion is fair? Do you think Universe 7 can rise to prominence once more? Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Until the next one, be sure to like and subscribe. Catch you later.